It's very sickening and frightening the way they idolize Donald Trump here in America. It's very sickening. It's very scary. Very sick, very scary. The way they idolize Donald Trump. January the 6th was a perfect picture, a perfect look at just how much they idolize and worship Donald Trump. Most of them call themselves God-fearing folks. Trump have expressed ideals of turning America into a dictatorship like you see in North Korea and Russia and China. He have expressed ideals of taking away the voting rights. That man is influenced by wicked people. Russia, Putin, Alex Jones. He say a lot of wicked things. And we supposed to believe that ain't nothing wrong with him. Well, we have seen his actions. We've seen how people idolize and worship this man, even preachers. They idolize and worship flesh, dirty flesh. It's awful. It's scary. It's scary that people are doing it. Mega everything, mega grown folks. You pass their yards, big old Trump statues. It's not enough just have a sign say Trump Vance or whatever. You got to have Trump statues, Trump flags, Trump everything. Big old banner hanging in your house. I just seen a commercial something about a mansion with Trump, big old Trump. What that look like? What does that look like? A lot of people wanted Trump. They want Trump to get in office and they want Trump to be there. From now on. Well, if Trump, Trump cannot do that. He might express, he might say he wanna do away with the voting rights and stuff like that. But we know he can't. Well, the way Trump like to bully himself around, bully people around, we seen this. The way he bullied the Republicans. That's why they split. A lot of Republicans in Washington don't like him. During the impeachment hearings, we seen how he bully and control most of the Republicans. He has some very, very faithful followers. He done bullied them so much. And it's awful that so-called preachers have fell into idolatry over this man. Standing in church, standing in a temple, supposed to be a temple. It's just a synagogue of Satan, a den of thieves, and worship that man. Come to tears. Preachers. There is no way that a preacher supposed to be that close to a human being where you would stand in your pulpit and idolize a man, worship a man, praise a man. All you see is Donald Trump. You cannot be a man of God. You too wrapped up in a man. You too caught up in a man. A lot of them really view Trump as the pre-Jesus, the new Jesus. You can see it how they talk. You can see how they worship him. They are really gone. And now I'm hearing Steve Bannon and all of them talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene was on, or Alice Jones. How is that so? Marjorie Taylor Greene was on Alice Jones last week, sowing the seed of they still in the election again. Steve Bannon, that's the word. They still in the election again. This coming out of the Republican side. They still in the election already again. Again. They still in the election again. How is that again when it was certified that Donald Trump lost? So are they still going on the lie that he told? I done heard him still spreading that lie. Lied on Dominion Voting Company. Lied about being cheated in all states, and in about 4 or 5 of them states. They gave him an opportunity to prove that he lost. He didn't do it. He jumped around there and just wanted them to believe what he was saying without evidence, without proof. Georgia gave him proof, gave him opportunity. Wisconsin gave him an opportunity. Arizona gave him an opportunity. I think it was a couple other states. They gave him an opportunity to prove, to provide any kind of evidence, credible evidence that he was robbed. He couldn't do it. But I see the way they are idolizing a man. He didn't encourage them people to go in there and do wrong. He said we're going to go very peacefully and protest. He said he didn't want no violence. Why did he have to get up there and make a speech in the first place? That's number one. It wasn't an official speech. So why did he do that? And what happened to him? We all agree that he said we are going to Washington. We are going to the Capitol to fight. So what happened to the president at that time? He lied, did he not? He gassed them people head up. He encouraged them to go up there and do what they did. Throwing a rock, hiding your hand. Throwing a rock, hiding your hand. Dirty deeds. The Bible talks about dirty deeds, sowing dirty deeds, doing dirt. Throwing a rock, hiding your hand. God see it. But they rally around that man. They glorify that man. They worship that man. They shed tears over that man. When the FBI raided his Mar-a-Lago resort, found him to have them documents, them people flocked down there and camped outside about a mile or two away just to support Trump. They went down there and camped down there close they can get just to show support for Donald Trump. How is that? Why is that? Got a rich billionaire that don't give a blank about you, poor people. Cause you the only ones that doing stuff like that. The man don't care about nobody but his rich, crooked, corrupt friends. I don't put my faith and trust in no politician. Yeah, politicians are good. We need them in this country. They work in Washington for us the economy and stuff and keeping stuff going. But we shouldn't idolize nobody that walk around in the earth. We have Christian, so-called Christian folks that does this stuff. Preachers standing up in the pulpit. Now, they want to talk about Miss Harris going into the churches, which you want to be right, she right, they right. But I'm seeing Trump closest and biggest donor, Elon Musk, going into churches. He was in that same church in Vegas. I believe that woman stood up some years ago and said, God said he gonna give you a second wind. That same church in Vegas. It looked like the same church. Elon Musk, he's involved in a whole lot of wicked stuff. He's investing a whole lot of money in a whole lot of wicked stuff. Y'all want to talk about the Democrats, mutilation of children and all this abomination stuff. He's very much involved now in trying to do stuff that will alter life, cloning, and all this stuff. But yet, he support Trump and the good old God-fearing preachers that demonize the left. They ain't said a word about Elon Musk. They know what his intentions are. They know the stuff that he's studying. They know what he's cooking up. They are idolizing a man, and they prepare to send this country into chaos if Trump don't win. What's the sense in having an election if he must win? Now, they are saying that it was stolen from Trump the last time around. But what about Hillary Clinton? They not saying, them same people not saying it was stolen from Hillary Clinton, and she blew him away in the popular vote. They can't deny that. They still demonize and talk about Hillary Clinton. They talk about that woman and her husband. They talk about them people bad. Ask these good old conservative preachers how they feel about certain people. They ain't gonna talk. They ain't gonna tell you the truth. That's how I know them swaggarts are no count. You can't hide it. Man stood up in the pulpit and read an open letter, or recited a letter that he wrote to Donald Trump, shedding tears, getting all emotional. What they say about a man who's supposed to be a preacher of God? Idolize a man. Idolize a sinful man that don't resemble God, being a child of God at all. The best place to be is neutral. The best place to be, I'm not voting for anybody. No, they help pick the side. They help pick the devil. Also, the man have wicked, the man intentions, once he get back in office, is not good. First order of business is dismissing all his charges. Those not just trumped up charges. They are charges that he deserved. Those charges are what he planted. They just need to be. They just done grown up. Dirty deeds. Seeds he have sown. They want us to believe that them just trump the left. The left just charging them. No, that man is who he is. The man don't care no about the law. He have a history of doing stuff, making false deals, reneging on deals, tying the stuff up in court. He have a history of doing that. Robbing folks through the courts. That's what he do. Make deals. Renege on the deal and tie them up in court. That's why a lot of countries refuse to give him casino license. That's what he good for. Can't keep lawyers. He won't listen to lawyers. They put a gag order on him. Y'all want to believe this man innocent? He just play y'all and using the weaklings. The man is not right. The stuff we are seeing, y'all idolizing that man to the fullest. Worshiping, praising that man. It's awful. Grown men wearing Trump paraphernalia. I see these people that wear them caps, they act like, they look at people and act like wearing a Trump cap is the best thing ever. What happened to freedom? They want to take away the freedom in this country. That's why that's why them Southern bigots are supporting him. They want to take us back to them good old days. there's we there's a lot of them in this country that desire that. There's a lot of people in this country, preachers. Preachers was like that back in the days, and we still have a lot of them. They believe in segregation. They believe in supremacy. If they existed back then or a few years ago, they still here. And it's evident to see. They want somebody that have the same ideals that they have. Donald Trump ain't racist. Yeah, well, why Donald Trump is on the picture with David Duke? And I heard some of them claiming say, yeah, Donald Trump is with us. There's a lot of preachers, so-called pastors, they are hung up on hatred, bigotry. It is what it is. It's sin. It's sin. It's been around since. It ain't going nowhere. It's going to forever exist. But we got to still fight against it, expose it, don't cover it, talk about it, shine the light on hatred. It's sin. Jamal Brown was right. Certain preacher down in Louisiana, you ain't never been known for speaking out against situations like that. They only react. Before Black Lives Matter, which I don't go along with no organizations, I don't participate in riots and stuff like that, protesting. But before Black Lives Matter, where were the other people was at? Blue Lives Matter. Where the other people was at? For Black Lives ever came, where Blue Lives Matter was at? They've been hearing about police brutality against people of color in this country. Where they was at? All they wanted, well, good cops. Just because we have a few bad cops in this country, they don't mean black. Before Black Lives Matter, people of color was being brutalized by cops at a high rate. The Blue Lives Matter people weren't speaking out against the bad cops. They didn't organize until after Black Lives Matter organized. So what that say about them? What does that say? It say they didn't give a damn. And they didn't or ever. We still have stories of cops, mostly white cops, brutalizing black folks. If Black Lives Matter never existed, never came, we wouldn't have Blue Lives Matter. They didn't care. They didn't care what was being done to people of color in this country. They liked it. Well, he was stopped by a police. Evidently, he deserved what he got. Evidently, they were disobeying law. Respect the cops. Obey the cops. America have an issue with dirty cops. They shouldn't be. Dirty cops shouldn't be. What's the sense of being a cop and you dirty? That's why Blue Lives Matter was organized. It was just a rebuttal or rebellion against Black Lives Matter, which neither one of them is no count. Corruption. That's why I don't follow organizations and stuff like that. I don't go out there and participate in riots and protests and all that. It's too easy to get caught up. Righteous people don't involve in themselves and stuff like that. Avoid the affairs of the world. That is including voting. A lot of people still on these Christian channels. Well, it's your duty to vote. You shouldn't call yourself an American. Yeah, but if you call yourself a Christian, why y'all not adhering to the scriptures? If the Bible say avoid the affairs of the world, how y'all still trying to override the scriptures? It don't make sense. Either you believe the Bible or you don't. You shouldn't call yourself a Christian and you don't vote. You shouldn't call yourself, you thinking about sitting out. That's not Christian. What the Bible say? What does the Bible say? If the Bible tells us to avoid the affairs of the world, then we ought to ignore what the scriptures say for the sake of voting still, to be American. People died to give us their right to vote. Yeah, they did. But it don't override the scriptures. Nothing overrides the scriptures if you claim to be a follower of Christ. You can't idolize a man. You can't worship a man. You can't, yeah, you can praise a man in his rightful place, but you cannot worship a man. Like I see going on in America with Trump. It's a disgrace. It's scary. It's flat out scary what we are seeing. I'm not against nobody supporting Trump. I'm against Trump. Well, you support Trump, fine. But they have taken this stuff way too far. I don't wear a man on me. Christian that votes should be in the dark. Christians that participate in the voting process, you shouldn't be wearing somebody's name on you nowhere. You shouldn't have a statue. All this stuff, big old flags in your yard. That's idolatry.